I'm Sarah Bumgardner with AAFMAA, the American Armed Forces Mutual Aid Association. Since 1879, we've been serving our military community, and our mission is to be the premier provider of financial solutions for the American Armed Forces. And as a director of partnership and member engagement, I talk with other organizations about what they are doing to help service members, their families, veterans, and the military community at large. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about how you can recognize signs of a veteran who may need senior care. And I have today General Dan York, who has served for 36 years between the Army Reserves and active duty component. General York is the founder and director of Strength as One Leadership, and he joined A Place for Mom about 2 years ago as the military advisor. General York, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Sarah. It's great to be with you all.
Yeah, so after your very impressive military career, how did you find A Place for Mom?
Yeah, Suzette Graham helped me out personally. I found out from a West Point classmate about this thing called aid and attendance benefits for veterans. And my dad is a Marine Corps veteran from the Korean War. And so I had approached Patriot Angels, and Suzette Graham very graciously helped me and my family help my dad get the assistance that he needed. In the process, she kind of fell in love with my dad and I, and just loved our story. And so she told A Place for Mom about me, and they contacted me and asked if I would be willing to serve as their military advisor, something that I was absolutely honored and thrilled to do, because in 36 years of military service, I'd never heard of aid and attendance benefits. And so what a game changer, as you know. And so to be able to help our veterans access and obtain those benefits is a huge honor for me. And so I'm really happy that I was able to sign up with A Place for Mom and be an advisor for them.
That's wonderful. And it sounds like, right, you had this very personal experience with A Place for Mom, which leads into my next question, which is, exactly how does A Place for Mom help veterans and their families financially, as well as placement wise? What does that look like?
Sure. So what happens, Sarah, is when someone who has a parent that needs some type of senior living assistance reaches out to A Place for Mom and calls them, the beautiful thing about A Place for Mom is you instantly get a live person. You don't have to go through a waiting process or an answering machine. So they connect you with a live operator, and then that person then connects you with someone who is local to the area where the senior would need assistance. And that subject matter expert knows all about the care facilities in the area, what options exist. And they always ask the question, is your parent a veteran? And that's key. And when they find out that that's the case, well, then they go down the trail of helping that person work with the VA to find out if they're eligible for a pension and for aid and attendance, for example. 25% of all veterans over the age of 65 are aware that they even have these kinds of benefits available. Most have never heard of it. It's interesting to me, again, 36 years, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And so they then point people in the direction of the Veterans Administration to get that help and work with them, because aid and attendance will help cover costs like assisted living, memory care, a nursing home, or in-home care services.
Yeah. And that's really important, because sometimes when people, and we have a personal experience here at AAFMAA helping our members navigate through the VA claims process, and also helping our surviving spouses if they're now needing help with things like that. But it can be complicated working with the Department of Veterans Affairs sometimes. So having somebody there to be able to guide you through that and say, this is what you need to do, and this is who you should talk to, can be such a great peace of mind, I'm sure, for a lot of families.
Yes.
Yeah. So how much, when we talk about kind of the funding that A Place for Mom has been able to help veterans receive, how much have you been able to help?
Yes. So veteran families that A Place for Mom has helped are now receiving over $8 million per year in VA benefits. Isn't that awesome?
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, that's $8 million. If they didn't know where to go to apply for this and they didn't know it existed, wouldn't be coming to them. It would just be sitting.
That's right.
And these are benefits, right? These aid and attendance and things like that. These are all part of serving in your, in the military, serving honorably for your country. And now you need assistance, and there's a place that can help you do that. We're going into the holiday seasons now, and everybody is going to be gathering a lot of times with their family. What are some ways that maybe we might not be aware of to recognize signs that somebody might be needing senior care?
Sarah, I'm going to personalize that for me and for my sister specifically. And my next youngest sister is a nurse. So she's obviously very observant anyway, but one of the first signs is dementia, honestly. And so in our case, we begin to notice that my dad and stepmom were slipping and we're not remembering things. And it got to the point where their short-term memory was so bad that they didn't know what to do for medications, how to take their meds. They were taking the wrong meds, which caused some problems, as you can imagine. So one sign is when they forget to take their medicine, when dementia begins to kick in. Also, when they begin to need assistance with activities of daily living called ADL, like dressing, showering, or toileting. Then you begin to realize, oh, wow, we may need to get some help for our folks. And again, with my parents, they didn't fall, but also falls are a precursor often to a real need to get help, because falls are dangerous when you get elderly and you have, osteoporosis or different things that can cause problems. Yeah. So those are signs. And then also things like depression, areas where the senior is very lonely, become fearful. Just today, I had a conversation with my brother. My dad's 91 and my dad's fearful. No. So, that's sad. It's when they begin to get to that point where it's like, oh man, they're afraid to walk down the hall. Well, then we know it's time to get help.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of emotions for the family themselves who might be experiencing this too, right? Seeing their loved one, their parent, maybe in a light that they've never seen them before, and wondering, what can I do to now make sure this person is safe, this person is cared for, and alleviate maybe some of that fearfulness. And that's where A Place for Mom can come into the conversation. And I know that for AAFMAA, we have partnered with A Place for Mom to be able to say, hey, we want to be able to, give a little bit of a discount to some of our AAFMAA members. But more importantly, we want to be able to have A Place for Mom as a resource, right? To be able to tell our members and say, if you are having these questions, there's an organization you can go to that can help walk you through that and guide you through that. So where exactly can we look for that? If we're starting to have these questions and we don't quite know what to do, who can we reach out to?
So I think the first thing is to go to A Place for Mom. So just aplaceformom.com, the website, and you've got it up on your screen, and that's the right approach. That'll give a phone number that a person can call. And again, you'll get immediately an operator that will connect you to the right person for help. They're very easy to contact. They're wonderful. By the way, I have to brag, Sarah, you didn't ask me to do this, but I love AAFMAA because I've been with them now for over 40 years. And this is a great partnership because you also help direct people to A Place for Mom, as you stated. And so, yeah, just go to aplaceformom.com's website, get the number to call. Also, there's lots of information on their website about how to recognize signs of senior living options, what those different options are, how to obtain benefits, how to find an assisted living facility. All of those things are on the website. They have great resources.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you guys have made it very simple, which is exactly what one needs in a time like this. So I thank you for being there and for being there for our veterans. and our service members that are now in a time in their life where they're needing our help now. And so I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your time today talking with, how A Place for Mom is working with veterans to ensure that they have good, safe, places to be. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. It's great to see you again, and so honored to be able to work with you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm Sarah Bumgardner, and that will wrap up our AAFMAA Live for today. If you would like more information about AAFMAA and financial readiness within the military community, of course, you can always subscribe to the QR code here on your screen. Otherwise, I thank you for joining, and I hope you have a great day. Bye now.